talking sports in this week's First Person, specifically the athletics department at the University of Delaware. We're joined by UD Athletic Director Chrissi Rawak and Danny Rocco, who was named UD's head football coach in December. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Christine, it's been kind of a season of change for UD Athletics on a number of different teams. You joined the school last year. Talk a little bit about that transition for you personally into your role as AD.
Yeah, so coming in mid-May was when I was officially announced. Obviously, one of the most important at the moment hires was Martin Inglesby, and moved quickly into that. And then as I began to learn and understand better the University of Delaware and what was happening and the opportunities to be excellent, it was something that I felt like it was an important thing for me to continue to do, is to accelerate that excellence across the board with all of our programs and with all of our coaches and everything that we're doing within the department as well.
And you recently had the opportunity to celebrate some of that excellence in Washington, D.C. with the UD Field Hockey NCAA championship winning team. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, and I take no credit for that, to be very candid with you. And I've said to folks, if you read any of the quotes, it was one of those things. Everybody was like, unbelievable, and I've said unbelievable, but not.
Right.
I mean, if you really step back and looked at what Ralph did as the coach and the plan he put in place and how he very intentionally and deliberately built that program, they were positioned to win. They were absolutely positioned to win, and it was no surprise to me. Obviously, the opportunity to go to Washington and be with Vice President Biden, he's obviously a very special place in the heart of the University of Delaware, and likewise, it was an incredible experience for those young women. But the whole experience, that whole season, was pretty phenomenal, and every step of the way, there were the resiliency they showed, the learning, the experiences they had. I mean, again, it positioned them to win that national title, and again, it wasn't a surprise. And I think it also, just to speak to your last question too, demonstrated for many of our coaches what's possible here at the University of Delaware, and that is something that is exciting for the future.
Well, that leads right to you, Coach Rocco. So hoping that rubs off a little bit on the football team. Welcome to Delaware. You're familiar with UD from being at Richmond, from the other side of the sidelines. Talk a little bit about how you've gotten up to speed in the last, I guess, 2 months now as football coach.
Well, it's been really exciting for me and for our staff and for my family. We certainly are looking forward to the future here at Delaware. I really bought into a real clear vision for the future of the program. The University of Delaware football tradition is so rich and so deep. And I think right now our fan base is really looking for a winner. And I think they can really rally around the energy and the enthusiasm that we're going to bring. We've gotten tremendous support from our president, from our athletic director here with Chrissi. And it all really starts with a vision for the future. And they offered a vision to me during the interviewing process that I was able to show, share, and sell to the staff that I brought with me. And then it also had benefits for us in the recruiting process as we were kind of selling this same vision and dream for the future of our program. So it's all about the future. It's all about moving forward. And I think things are lining up really well for us here. We're excited to get started.
Obviously, you had a lot of success over the last couple of years at Richmond into the playoffs, I think the last 3 years. What does it take to get this team back there?
Well, I think that the exciting thing for me right now is we're moving into a phase where everything we're doing is specific to player evaluation and player development. And because when I arrived here in December, we were kind of on a break, the Christmas break, then a recruiting cycle. This is really the first cycle for us as coaches to get connected at that level with our student athletes. So we're really excited about this phase of the program moving forward. I think it's always about the reality that the process outweighs the event. If our focus is simply on trying to get to the playoffs, we're going to de-emphasize the process. And the process to me is always of more significance. And we have a really good model for what we believe in and what we do within our football program, how we develop character, how we develop a winning attitude, how we unite and develop chemistry within the organization. And all those things are equally important as we put this thing back together. So I think at the end of the day, it's about the process. It's about getting the young people to buy into the messages that you have, and then being able to win consecutively days, stacking days of successful decisions and practices as we move forward. So I think we have enough talent to be in the conversation. Now we have to start believing, and we have to start learning what it takes to be able to finish.
Richmond comes here in October. Is that a date you have circled on the calendar, or does it really matter? You're focused more on your side.
Yeah, I really will not treat that game any differently than any other game on our schedule. I've been doing this 34 years. I've been blessed to have been at 12 different universities. I've coached in the National Football League. I've coached against my mentors. I've coached against my nephew. I've coached against family members. I mean, I've already coached against a team that I had been their head coach before when Richmond played Liberty. So I go back to my kind of default. Like, the process outweighs the event.
Right.
So I think that'll be a big day. It's a big day because it's two good CAA programs playing in what will be a very meaningful game. But we'll focus in on the things that you need to do to win games like that, and that's exactly what their coaches and their kids will focus in on when it comes that opportunity.
Christine, the school has changed or tweaked, I guess, a little bit at the athletic donation fee for season ticket holders. Talk a little bit about the decision behind that and what the reaction's been.
Yeah, sure. So when I came in, one of the things that I was really focused on, and I say this, listening, learning, and then leading. And as I talked to a variety of different constituencies, important ones to the University of Delaware, it was very apparent that particular event that happened was not necessarily the most positive one for our community. And as we evaluated and looked at it and realized, one of the things that's most important to us is the engagement and the support of our community. And we felt like that choice was the right one to make in order to be able to, re-engage with some, be able to validate the things that I was saying and that the president was saying about wanting everybody to be a part of what we're working towards here in support of Coach and in support of the program as a whole. The reaction has been very positive. People are appreciative that we listened. I think that's one of the things that we're working really hard to demonstrate is I just don't want to ask and not ideally do something with the information. I want to be very certain that I'm responding back and saying, we heard you and this is what we're going to do, or we heard you and we can't necessarily do what you're asking us to do, and here's why. Because that is a really important relationship for us. This community, the state of Delaware, our alumni. I mean, the passion that I have felt since I walked in is palpable, and I love it because you can work with passion. Some of it has been, critical passion, which is okay.
Right.
Again, the feedback is data, right? And it allows us to make decisions that are going to be best for the university, first and foremost, and then obviously athletics and the student athletes in our programs as a whole.
So, Coach, if you could kind of talk to those fans who maybe have been a little disillusioned over the last couple of years and disappointed by outcomes, what's the message to those who are in the seats Saturday after Saturday?
I think that it's all about teamwork. I don't think that I've ever been involved in anything that was successful that wasn't focused on team first. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a job to do. Our jobs are very unique to our titles. Chrissy's job description and her role is uniquely different than mine, but they're both very important. And I think with our fan base and our alumni, they're extremely important to the future of our program and to the success of our program. And we need to be able to continue to rally and to unite this fan base. It's kind of like what came first, the winning or the enthusiasm and energy. But either one first could help develop the other one. So with the energy and enthusiasm, for me, that's what our student athletes deserve. They deserve to have the best possible student athlete experience out there. And that's what we're committed to. And that experience consists of a lot of different things: academics, social maturity, moral values, and obviously athletic success. You know, so when we offer that whole person model to our student athletes and that experience, part of that experience is winning, and part of that experience is being supported by a fan base that really wants to be behind your team and energetic and enthusiastic. I came to Delaware when I was at Richmond as the head football coach. I think it was my second year at Delaware. I'm at Richmond, and 2013, somewhere in there, and I was extremely excited about the atmosphere and the energy at the stadium here at Delaware. And as I went through that pregame ritual of mine, I kind of felt like this is the way college football needs to be. And our student athletes, they deserve to be in that platform and in that environment. So we need to support each other, and we need to communicate and be on the same page moving forward. But ultimately, we all want to win, and we all want the student athletes to have a very enjoyable, very fulfilling experience.
We look forward to it. Coach Rocco, UD Athletic Director Chrissi Rawak, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate your time. Blue Hen football kicks off against Delaware State Thursday, August 31st in Newark.